Hey everybody, it's Jamie from Prudent Baby here. So today I wanted to make a video to show you how to thread a sewing machine. And the reason that I'm doing that is because we get so many comments and emails from people saying things like, I had a sewing machine sitting in my garage for 3 years and I don't know how to use it. I really want to learn how to sew. Or I have my grandmother's sewing machine. Or basically just that you desire to learn how to sew. And the biggest step that you need to take is learning how to thread it. And once you know how to thread it, you can just start playing with it and you'll learn how to sew in no time. So I'm going to show you, actually my husband is going to help me show you because he has been sewing for longer than I have. First I'm going to show you on my machine, which is a newer machine, brand new actually, gift from my mom again, thanks Mom. And this machine has some different features than an older machine. My husband sews on a machine from the 60s, which you might have one like that in your yard, and that's going to be a little bit different. So the first thing that you need to do to thread your sewing machine, we'll start with my newer machine, is you need thread. So we have that. On this machine, you're going to put your thread up here, put this little cap on it. And before you can start sewing, you also need thread in the bottom of your machine on something called a bobbin. So this is a bobbin. So you need to get the thread from here onto the bobbin. So that's the first thing you do. So if you look at the top of your machine, it has instructions on it usually, and if it doesn't, it's going to work very similarly on any machine. So if you follow the instructions on the top of my machine, the thread goes in here, then it goes around here, through this little hook and around this circle. Then you want to stick it through the hole on the top of your bobbin. I'm using black thread, so hopefully you can see this. I hate threading bobbins. I usually sit and do a million of them at one time, which you can see in my super messy drawer here. And then I have them in all different colors whenever I need them. Oops. And then you want to put this on your machine, and there's on this knob over here, and there's a little indentation in the bobbin, and then there's a little piece of metal here that you want them to line up with your thread on the top. Then you take this whole thing, pull it tight, and then snap that over. And then you have to have your machine on, obviously, and then you hit the pedal, and instead of sewing, it's going to wind your bobbin for you, so check it out. Winding your bobbin. It's so awesome. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, normally we'd let it go all the way, but in the interest of time, I'm going to take it off now. Now you have your bobbin, and we're going to go ahead and put it in the machine. So a newer machine has something called a drop-in bobbin, which is super amazing and awesome and will change your life. But if you don't have it, you'll still be fine. But anyway, so this is how a drop-in bobbin works. You drop it in. You make sure the thread's facing counterclockwise, and the machine shows you, it tells you everything to do. And then you follow the arrows with your thread up here, around here, and boom, it cuts it off. Put the lid back on, and you're done.
Alright, now is the time to feed the bobbin into the bottom of the machine. There's always going to be some kind of door that slides or flips open. In this case, it slides open. You can see the bobbin case in there. There's a top to it that you want to pull out. There's a little sort of lever right here. Just pull it toward you and grab it, pull it out, and you can see that there's room for the bobbin. You're going to want to stick a threaded bobbin inside the case. There's a little slit right here. I'll stick it under the light. There's a little slit right there. You're going to want to run your thread right through it and then over this flap like that until it pops right in there, and you can feel that there's a lot of give to it. You're going to want to pull it out maybe about 5-6 inches. Keep it loose like that. I have really big hands, and this is a small machine, so it's difficult to do for me, but I can do it, so I think that means all of you outside can do it yourselves. So you can see there's a little peg inside. You want to line it up with the hole inside the bobbin, and make sure in this case that this little arm here is up top. So stick it right in there. You can see that it's a little loose. That's a bad sign. You want to make sure that it sort of snaps in place. You'll probably be able to hear it right now. There you go. So you could hear a snap. It's not falling out. That's a good sign. You can see there's slack right here. I want to tuck that right inside the basement there. Make sure it's not caught on anything, and then close the door. And that part is done.
So then you want to take your thread out, and we're going to go ahead and thread it. And there are also instructions on your machine usually for how to do that. This is going to be pretty much the same for any sewing machine that you use. So you start with your thread in the same place, and you're going to take it around here, where the number 2 is, go all the way down here, underneath this part, back up, and then there's a hook inside here that you want to get your thread around, and the way you do that is turning this knob over here until you see that hook up at the top. Wrap your thread around it, bring it back down, and you want to make sure your needle's all the way at the top because this machine has a threader, which is also really cool. So you press this button right here. It's going to bring this little threader down, and there's a hook. It might be a little bit different on each machine, but there's a hook in there that's going to pull the thread through the needle. And then you just pull it the rest of the way through. And your machine is threaded. Now with the super amazing, awesome new machine, I can actually just start sewing. You might want to just pull a few to see that your threads are going through. Pull one up, and I can see that they are. And then just grab the scrap of fabric here. What have I got? What is this? A blue scrap. I'll fold it in half so you can see. That threaded, perfect, done. So that might seem a little complicated, but watch the video a few times, whip out your sewing machine, give it a try, and you're done. You're ready to start sewing. So later on I'll do some more videos just about basic stitches and techniques to start with, but right now just practice threading your machine. Just whip it out and do it.